Hey, Service Titan super users. I think everybody is doing COVID-19 coronavirus updates. I did want to do just a quick video about how you can use some communication features in Service Titan to make sure that your customers are getting a consistent message. I think it's important, more important now really than ever before, to make sure that we're battling any kind of fear that the customers are dealing with, and so I think that Service Titan has a really great way to do that, but not everybody necessarily knows. So I just want to show you what I'm going to be setting up for this client, and so that way, if you want to, you can do the same thing. If you go to the settings menu, top right hand corner, go to settings. Over here on the left is communications, and then under customer notifications. So customer notifications have a lot of options that people don't necessarily even realize. You get it set up when you implement, and you're using the default version of whatever message is in there, and it's not necessarily to the max that it's capable of. So I'm just going to go through this menu a little bit. I'll stray from the topic of like communicating about this situation specifically, to just make sure that you guys know what's available in this menu so that you can utilize it to the best of its ability. And you can send out different kinds of customer notifications automatically based off of your preference. Booking confirmations, reminder, this goes out. You can determine when this goes out to the customer, either the day before, 24 hours before, at the same time every day. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. And then dispatch notifications when the technician dispatches to the home, and job completion surveys. Now you'll see this client has job completion surveys turned off, and that's because they use a review management system that sends text messages and emails after the completion of a job. So Service Titan is integrated with Pulse-M, and which is who they use. It's a really great review management company. I really like them. They're probably my favorite. And but so they have job completion surveys turned off. Now, one thing to be aware of is if you've got your job completion surveys turned on because you're like, oh wow, that's really cool, but then you also integrate with the review management software. What we've seen is that you can actually see a downturn in your responses because people kind of get irritated. They end up getting multiple emails and multiple text messages, and they're just like, I'm not like, what's happening right now? Why are you sending me so much information? Or, and this happens more often than not, is the job completion survey from Service Titan goes out first. And so if you don't have a link in that survey template for Google or Yahoo or whatever, then you're probably going to collect that survey, but they're not going to then go back in and actually leave you a public social media review, which is really what you want, right? So like I said, I might digress a little bit. So that's just about that. But what I really want to talk about is making sure that your messaging is consistent. So most of you are probably taking extra safety precautions right now when you're in the customer home, and you want to make sure that you're communicating that message and what you're doing to the customer so that they know what to expect during the appointment. And also, I feel like the way to battle fear is education and knowledge. And so if you have customers that are concerned right now or they're hesitant to book, you want to make sure that your CSRs have the tools that they need to go ahead and get the job booked. Here at Outbound 360, when we have like specific language that we use now to make sure that the customers understand that this is more, it's just as important now to get your maintenance done as it is even to have like that to get something fixed. What we don't know how long this is going to last, and we don't know how long this could go on. And protecting the infrastructure of the company, which includes plumbing, electrical, and heating and air conditioning, is vitally important, and it's why we've been included on the list of essential services. And so being able to complete that maintenance on your home is important right now. And I would recommend, if you're not doing this already, make sure that there's ways that you can serve your customer without having any interaction between your technicians and the customer themselves. And Service Titan is great for making this possible, right? So estimates and invoices can be emailed, and estimates can be accepted and signed online now. So there doesn't have to be any interaction. I'd recommend having the CSRs give the customer the option, if they voice any kind of concerns over it, to go ahead and be able to provide a payment method and put it in the system and save it in the system so that the technician can go to the home, complete the service, and handle everything over the phone with the customer. We've had some customers even that just said, well, I don't want to have any interaction with anybody, and so they can come and do it, but I'm just going to stay upstairs, and they can call me and we can do everything over the phone if they need to present it to me. So I know that you may not have the opportunity to follow the process exactly the way you always have, but I think the most important thing right now is just making it really easy for your customer to work with you. And so, and that's some of the things that we're implementing here at Outbound 360, and then my clients are implementing it through Service Titan. So with this one on the communication settings, what I'm going to be doing for this client today is actually making sure that some information about how we're handling in this how we are handling things and the safety measures that we're putting into place are being communicated in Service Titan. So if you go into the booking confirmation, and I'm not going to set it up right now because we're still working on the website. So there's going to be a landing page on the website that just kind of says how are, what safety precautions are we taking during this time, and it'll list out kind of what to expect during an appointment. I'm hoping that the owner is going to record a video about what to expect during your appointment, and just that we're very concerned about the safety and comfort of both your family and ours. And so but you can customize this content. So in the text message, what I'm going to be adding in is just a really simple message that says, we are taking, I haven't decided on the wording yet, but we are following specific, I don't know, new safety measures to protect your family and ours. Click here for more details. And then you're going to put a link. So once we have the landing page done, it'll actually be here, and it'll probably be something like that. And so we will include that little phrasing in the text message. Now, when the text message goes out, most phone operating systems are designed to pick up this link. So even though it doesn't necessarily appear clickable here, it will in the text message when it goes out to your customers, because the phone will pick it up automatically. So I'm not going to add this in right now because I got to get that website live first, but I wanted to show you something that we're doing. So then that way you can actually have your CSRs tell the customers what to expect, not necessarily explaining the safety measures, because I can understand that when you're talking about a consistent message, some CSRs might be able to really communicate the safety measures in a way that communicates confidence and strength, but without instilling fear where there wasn't any before. So your CSRs can always just say, you're going to get a text message and an email confirming this appointment. And in that text message, you'll actually find a link to our website, which is going to give you more information about what to expect during your appointment. And that way they just know to go and find it and take a look at that. So, and then I highly recommend videos on the landing page, just because it's so much easier to understand and trust somebody that's talking to you, and it puts a face to the company. And so it's just, I think that that's a best practice, but obviously that's up to you, and you have to be comfortable on camera. Now, in your email as well, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that this is very customizable when it comes to you can do HTML, you can put an HTML code, and then you can also include links to your website. So if you're just kind of using the standard things, the business unit logo and official name and all of these elements that Service Titan will integrate with you, well, that's great, and you absolutely should. You should be giving the customer as much information as possible. But in addition to that, you can actually include hyperlinks. And so you can, let's see, so like this here, you can actually insert a hyperlink so that it's going to be the HTML code. And hold on just a second, I want to walk you through how to do that. So you can actually edit the HTML. And so then in here, if you're not confident on how to create the HTML to link to your website, then I can do a separate video to walk you through that. There's also websites that say, I need to create an HTML link to this website, and it'll actually kick it out for you. And so just Google that. But I'll do a separate video on how to add that HTML in as well. But I just want you to see that you can edit this HTML, so you can make this a really customizable email. Now, we only have it customized to a certain point. It's actually, you can design an email. You can put the HTML in here that's like, you can design an email that doesn't look like anybody else's. And so at some point we'll be doing that. But a lot of people don't know that you can actually you can edit the HTML of the email and get really more into detail and make your emails look really good. So one thing that we're going to be doing here is adding in an HTML link into the website that's going to allow them to click to the landing page as well and just see, hey, here's the safety measures that we're taking right now, and here's what to expect during your appointment. I did see one company that did basically like a role play of an appointment. And they said, you know, like, here's what to expect during the appointment. And it was actually a video of a service technician arriving to the house and like every measure that they were taking. For me, that might be a little bit much. I mean, I think it was really cool and it was a really informative video. I don't know if if your customers are going to watch it or not. Generally, there's about a 30-second attention span on videos, but that might be worth a shot too if you're really in the mood to get crazy with it. But I wanted to just make sure that you know that these confirmations are so customizable, and so don't just stick with the default and then just leave it alone. Go in there and see what kind of value you can add in for your customers to make sure that you're communicating a strong message, especially during this time. Whatever link you use, another thing that you can do is include like a PDF, right? So you can have the PDF actually uploaded to your website. You can have a live link to that PDF. And then what I would recommend is that it go in your email. So if you come over here to your settings menu and you go to your, well, you know what? It's not actually, hold on, I got to remember. Been a little bit there we go, under invoicing and go to email. So you have different email templates based off of what you're sending, whether it be an estimate, an invoice, like a project, like the statement of all of their recurring charges, especially for commercial customers. But one thing that you can do is you can actually add a letter from the owner, and this is something we're considering doing right now. So you can include a letter from the owner to these emails. So when they get their invoice, it's also going to include an attachment that has a letter from the owner with maybe some coupons on the bottom. And thank you so much for trusting us, especially during this fragile time. And so you can actually include that here. The best way that I found to do that is to make it a form that triggers on every job type. So if you upload the PDF and you make it a smart form and it triggers on every single job type, then it's going to be a form that's attached to every job. So then when the technician goes in there to email the invoice, they just check a box that says to include the form. And it's a really easy process for the technician. So if you need any help in that process, just let me know. But I just want to make sure that but I just think that anything that we can do to make the message consistent to the customer is so important. And ServiceTitan has so many capabilities of being able to do that you should use it. I love CSRs, and I think that they are the gateway to your company. That's why I do what I do. But I also know that getting a consistent message out of your CSR is not always the easiest task. And so if you can have a process and an automation to back up your CSRs and make sure that the message is consistent, then I think that that's even better. So I would recommend using ServiceTitan for that purpose and making sure that under your email templates, as well as under your communications and customer notification settings, that you have some messaging in here that allows them to kind of see what to expect from their appointment and if you're making changes for safety reasons. So that's it for today. I hope that you got some value out of this video. If you have any questions, just comment below and I'm happy to answer questions. You can also go on and follow my YouTube channel if you'd like to, and just by following the link to this video. So have a wonderful day and reach out if you need anything.